Always a pleasure to talk to my next guest. Dre Miley is on the show, and you can see him fight April the 2nd for VFC 80 when he meets Jose Johnson. Dre, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. It's been a little while since we've spoken. Last time we talked, you were actually getting ready to face Jeremy Mitchell for the title there, and for whatever reason, the fight fell apart. I haven't seen what took place, so tell me what happened there to make that fight canceled.
I think the weight cut was too hard on Jeremy. I think that's what I was told. Is like the weight cut. He had trouble making it last time, and he doesn't feel like he can make it. He couldn't made it at that time. So it wasn't like he was, running or anything like that. He messaged me. We've talked about it. He said he was sorry for it. So I mean, I really can't be mad at him. It's his body, so can't really be like, oh well, you flaked out on me because X Y Z. It's like, no, you flaked. Your body can't take that cut. So he cuts from a lot. I think he's like 170 or something like that. So he's huge. He's pretty big. So I guess it's just the weight thing.
It sounds like you guys have, for all intents and purposes, buried the hatchet, so to speak, because leading up to that initial fight when you guys were supposed to match up, there was a little bit of bad blood, and now you don't seem angry. You seem like, hey, it is what it is. You can move past it. Is there a chance that we could see that fight down the road, or have you just kind of look past that and you're not really eager to do that?
I don't really care at this point. To me, it's more of like, well, you had your chance and we didn't get it. So I'm not going to keep backtracking because that makes my career, take smaller steps. So if we do run it, cool. If we don't run it, I'm still cool with it. I ain't really bothered by it. During that time, I was really just like set on, if I win this belt, I get to UFC, which is not even the case at all. So that's really what it is. It's like at that point, it was the exclamation. Like it didn't matter who was in front of me. It's like I was going to win that fight, and I was going to get to UFC. So that's really what it was. So I'm not really mad at him. More mad at the how it played out and when it played out.
You must be getting pretty antsy to get in there and fight, man. It's been well over a year since you actually had your last competition inside the cage. I believe it was January of 2020. I mean, are you going crazy here, just waiting to get in there and fight again?
Yeah, like this whole like the whole camps. Like I've had at least in just like two cards, I had at least two, three people just fall out. And I was supposed to fight in October. That didn't happen. And then Jeremy was supposed to happen. And Jeremy couldn't fight. And then I had another dude who was supposed to fight me. And then he was like, oh, I can't fight. And I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. So like, yeah, I'm pretty antsy. It's hard, but at the same time, it's things happen for a reason. I think that me not fighting all last year was probably the best thing because I don't think I would be the person that I am currently becoming if I had fought. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me what, life and training has been like for you since we've last spoken. It's been a few months now. Has, I guess, the where you're at, the pandemic, has it gotten a little bit better? Life is a little bit more normal for you?
Yeah, in this way, it's almost like nothing's ever happened. I mean, there's still things that are weird, but for the most part, life is still back to the normal. We still get to go train and still get to have full classes and stuff like that. So nothing's really changed. I've not left fight camp mode this whole time. So ever since they told me I was fighting, like I've never like taken off and was like, oh, I'm gonna take days easy and stuff like that. I'm always trying to figure out what can I do better at and stuff like that. So it's never geared towards, oh, well, you got to fight. Let's get super, super in shape. Let's get super hyped up for this. It's like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep the intensity that you're at and then find new levels to hit that intensity. And so it seems to be working out.
I know you're a family man. What has that balance been like between training, work, and then spending time with your family?
It's been a little challenging because like me having to be at the gym a lot more here recently with teaching classes and stuff like that. It's kind of hard. And my fiance, she's in school, so it makes it a little bit tough on everybody. But we seem to be doing really well. The boys just seem to, do their part, and they understand that it's stress on both of the parents. So I think they're doing pretty good at it.
How does that compromise work out when you guys have some downtime and you want to do something as a family, like a hobby, for example? I know for me, I have a full-time job myself, and so this is my part-time thing. And when I have some downtime, if it's a Saturday and there are fights on, I want to kick back and watch the fights. Or if it's football season, I want to watch, football Sunday, man. So what is
Yeah.
that give and take like for you when you guys do have some downtime?
It's usually like if it's nice outside, we'll plan to do something. Uh, but usually Saturdays, if there's fights on, I'll usually just stay home and watch it. If we don't have nothing else to do, it's just mostly just like try to not think about our Monday to Friday stuff. So she tries not to study as much. I try not to, be as involved in MMA as possible. And the kids, they get to do their thing. So they get to play video games, we talk, and stuff like that. So it's really just trying to find that balance. Like you said, it's hard because like you're always on the go, and then come Saturday and Sunday, you're like, man, I got to chill out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really what it is. We just chill at home, or we go see family. Or we play with our dogs, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much sounds exactly what me and my fiance do on the weekends as well. There's been a lot of good fights, man, and I know you like kicking back and watching them, like you just said. Do you feel like right now that the state of MMA is as good as it's ever been, and this is a sport that really could take that next step to like one of those major four? Obviously you've always had football, basketball, baseball, and hockey, but MMA just really keeps moving forward. Do you feel like we're getting closer to having it considered as like one of the big sports? In the country and the world?
I think so, especially with what Dana White and the UFC are doing. I think that they are pushing it down people's throat to the point where people can't ignore it. Like, there's more people watching UFC fights, and there's been more fans than there are football right now. So, if there's a fight on, people are going to watch it because it's the only thing on right now. So everybody's gravitating towards it. So it's a really good thing. I think we're heading in the right direction. There's some things where they got to tweak it and make sure that it's actually better for everybody, because everybody's trying to fight. Everybody's a fighter now. And then this time they're going to have to figure out something to accommodate all these extra fighters that are coming. So like it's not just me, it's like everybody else that's, gunning towards that extra spot. So I think that it's great to see that everybody is gunning for the same spot. And it's really dope. I really like it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's a lot of great fights coming our way soon. I know the one that stands out to me is Francis Ngannou and Stipe for the title there. What do you think of that fight? And give me another fight or two that really stand out that you're looking forward to seeing.
Oh God, man. I really don't know about the Nagano fight. Like, you know, Nagano has like that freakishly just destroyer power, Like if he touches you, like he flicks you on your chin, you're going to sleep. So I mean, I like that fight, but also Stipe is a dog. Like Stipe can take it anywhere. I don't know if he can take too many hits on the chin from Nagano because again he hits like a freight train. But so I'm excited for that one. And who was they just announced the Usman fight, the Usman and Masvidal fight. So that one seems to be pretty good. I don't really know. I really don't like. I like Jorge, but at the same time, like I feel like you got it just because you talked. That's what I feel like. And Usman's clean out the division, and the only person standing left is Masvidal and Wonder Boy. So I think they're gonna save Wonder Boy for like the last bit. The one fight that really made me mad was the Sterling fight and Peter Yan fight. That fight made me so mad because it was so good. It was really good. They had scrambles, they had good exchanges, and then the need happened, and that just killed the whole momentum of the whole thing. And sad to see that Aljamain getting blamed for all that. It's like, oh well, he's acting. It's like, you ever took a knee to the face? Like when you're not defending, it's like it's bad, but also at the same time, he should have never played that game. When you play that game, you have to know what's about to happen. So
Yeah, it's interesting you say that too, because I've talked to a few other fighters and got their take on that situation as well. To me, someone that is in Piotr Jan's position, that's as seasoned veteran that he is, I mean, I was shocked to see him throw that knee the way he did. I mean, is that something that you feel like someone that's a veteran like that, like they should know not to do? Or did you feel like in the heat of the moment there's reasons why he would have done that?
I mean, I would say the latter of it, because it's one of those things where you're in the heat of battle, and you know the rules, but then again, you don't know the rules. You just know that you're in there, you're trying to beat this person mercilessly until they stop. And his corner was the one sitting there saying, that you can do it. Now they could have saw something that nobody else seen, because if you look at the pictures now, like he has like that much off the ground with his knee. Like technically he's not down. So, but then they were like, oh, that happened after the knee and yada yada yada. I was like, but still, it's like it's a fight. So they need to clear up the rules, because like certain states, they have different rules. Like certain areas have different rules. Like, oh, down opponent is this, or down opponent is that. It's like, you guys got to clean this. You got to clean this up, because this happened twice. It happened just last weekend with who was it? Who the big dudes?
Yeah, with Eric Anders and
Yeah, yeah, it happened then, and it was just like, you gotta be able to do it. And then for that special case, I think Anders was just too gassed to know what we was doing. He was just like, I'm just gonna hit this guy a lot, and so he threw it once, and then he caught himself, and then he threw it again. So I mean, it's one of those weird rules. It's like, if he's up, he's up. If he's down, he's down. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, it clearly is a little bit of an issue in the sport that hopefully they'll be able to get a little bit more concise with the rules here moving forward. Let's talk about this fight here. Valor Fights 80. It's going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee. Do you know, I mean, how open is this going to be to fans? I know that they're selling cage side seats. I saw people will be there, but what will the capacity be like? Will it be 50% full, 75? Do you know the details?
I think it's all the way full. I do believe every fight that we've had, it's always been full. They encourage you to wear a mask and so on and so forth. So they do a really good job about temperature checking and stuff like that, because the owner, he loves fights, and that helps his business out. So he wants to keep his business as open and fluid as possible. So for all I know is that they keep it open pretty well. So just wear your mask and you come in, you're good to go. So
as far as testing goes, is it just like it has been previously? You have to test and get cleared once and you're good to go, or are they making you test multiple times before you're cleared to fight?
I'm not really sure about Tennessee. Tennessee's kind of weird. They don't really test out here. So if you feel weird, then you don't get to fight. They probably will start implementing that soon, but Tennessee is one of these weird states where like they are more concentrated on the vaccine, and you just wear your mask, so you should be fine.
How far is the venue from where you live?
From my house, it's like 10 minutes. So
okay,
it's nice. I can just wake up anytime I want to, and then just like, all right, I'm gonna go to fights, and then that's it.
So do you intend on having a lot of people there come fight night to support you?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get as many people, because like everybody's like been talking about wanting to see me fight, and I'm like, yeah, me too. I want to fight too. So, and then they was like, yeah, we'll buy a ticket. We're gonna get a ticket. So like, I'm trying to push, and like I've been doing a lot of posts about, hey, you need to buy tickets. Hey, you need to buy tickets. And I'm pretty sure I'm getting to the point where it's annoying, but it's how I make extra money. It's how everybody has. The kids get extra stuff, and the missus gets to do, what she wants to do. So I have to hustle to get the ticket sales. And it's also nice because it helps out the marketing ability of me.
Sure.
So that's a big thing, especially with this sport. They got to want to see you fight. You can't just be like, oh, this is such and such from this gym. All right, cool. What does he do? Like, they got to be able to relate to you.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. I wanted to ask you this. I saw on your Facebook, obviously, no, excuse me, it was on your Instagram. I follow you on both, but you made a post. This will be Cotton Eye Joe, and you were making a joke just about, I guess the fact that you obviously, have one eye now, and saying that some people actually still make fun of you and get on you about that. Is that really true? People actually comment and say negative things to you about that?
100%. Every single fight from my third amateur fight in Virginia, all the way up until here recently, every single opponent, whether it be my opponent or it be their team or it be a fan of theirs, always makes a comment about, oh, this dude's got one eye, or you should punch him in that eye, or so on and so forth. And then they'll throw out the fatty wop jokes and stuff like that. It's like, you guys, if you're going to make fun of somebody, at least make it funny. Don't be so cliched about it to where it's like, all right, but that doesn't really, it's not really funny. So yeah, they still do it, you know. It's more reflection on the people that they hang around with. If your people is talking about somebody, you know, like that, to the point where, you know, that's someone's face, you know, that the eye has a story behind itself. So if you're making fun of that, that means you're making fun of that person and everything that they went through. So people don't understand that sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's funny, and then sometimes it's like, all right, you kind of draw the line here. You do know I am fighting your buddy, and so it's like I have no. And at that point, when they start making eye jokes, I really don't have any mercy on that person.
Yeah. It just boggles my mind that some people can be so mean spirited. But 2021, sometimes nothing really surprises me nowadays. For anybody that's watching this interview, Dre, that doesn't know your backstory, can you just elaborate a little bit as to how you lost that eye?
Oh yeah, I lost my eye when I was 17 to a car wreck. To no fault of my own. I was riding around with a friend of mine, and you know there was two other people in the back seat. And whenever he swerved to hit a tree, I went to catch them, and my whole left side went towards that tree, well, towards the dashboard, and my face got put in the dashboard. So I think I was like I said, less than a millimeter of dying or something like that. If it touched my brain, I would have died. So yeah, that's the general gist of the story.
I never really asked you about that. The previous interview that we had, how difficult was that for you to get through, man? I got to imagine it was one of the darkest times of your life.
Man, it was hard. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to cope with it because, you know, ACL surgeries and, you know, other surgeries like that, it's easy to come back from. It's like, all right, cool, I got a new ligament. But like this is your eye. Like that science is not advanced enough to the point where you're like they can just plug in a new eye. It's not Terminator or anything. So yeah, it was hard. Like I went through depression. I went through a lot of stuff, you know. It was a lot of like insecurities. Like I would not come out of my room. If there was light in my room, I'd keep it dark. Stay in my room until dinner time, and I'd only come out to eat, use the bathroom. It was a very dark time. I lost a lot of weight. I was like 170 at the time, and I had dropped all the way down to 135.
Wow. And obviously you've gotten through it, and you're a better human for it, a stronger human for it, I'm sure. When you hear people, say mean spirited things now, does it really affect you? Do you just kind of look at it like them just, hey, that's their issue. Like for them to throw stones and say mean things, like that's a shows their character, not mine. Does it bother you at all anymore?
It used to in the very beginning. I used to get bummed by it, and it'd be like, man, why they got to say that? Why they got to be mean? I'm like, I'm just trying to fight. And then, you know, people, they have to reflect on something because everybody's life's not where they want to be. So I took it like that with the help of my coach. You know, everybody's going to find something wrong with somebody. And also with my team, you know, if you're not in like my team or whatever and you never knew the story, then, you know, you can't make jokes about it. So my team makes jokes about it all the time. So now I can take the jokes and be like, laugh it off. But used to, I couldn't do it. So when anytime anybody foreign says something about it, I usually just laugh it off and be like, you really don't get mad about it? It's like I used to, but now it's to a point where they're not as funny. Cause like if I can hear jokes every single day and I can also make jokes about myself, you really don't have any power over me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said, man. Look, I can't even imagine what that was like, but you clearly have a great outlook on where you're at right now. And yeah, I can only imagine just where you were then to where you are now. You're just a completely different person, a much stronger person. Now let's talk about this particular matchup here with Jose. Obviously, maybe outside of the Cody Durden fight, it's got to be the biggest fight of your career. It's a guy that was on the Contender Series. He didn't get that shot in the UFC, but that they're keeping their eyes on him. So when you look at this matchup, how big of a fight is this for this stage in your career right now?
I believe it's the turning point at this point. This next fight is probably the one that will send me over to the point where people will be like, well, he just went from, you know, just a one eye fighter to be like, oh God, this dude's actually the real deal. So that's what I think. I think that's what it is. This is a big fight, but it's not as drawn out as with the Cody Durden fight because the Cody Durden fight got to the point where it's personal. and then this fight is more of it's strictly business, you know. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on him. There's also a lot of eyes on me too. So he's not the only one that's like, you know, going for attention here, because the 35 and the 125 divisions are so wide open that they're just really just grabbing anybody.
Mhm.
So and they're also weeding out all the old heads of the 35 and 25 division. So they need new faces. So whoever wins the fight out of me and Jose, you know, they're gonna get catapulted, you know, and someone's gonna get pushed. So it's either I get signed directly, or God forbid, if I do lose this fight, I get to Ultimate Fighter. So it's a win-win no matter where it goes. I just gotta be who I am inside the gym into the fight, and then this fight's pretty much a done deal.
Did you learn anything from watching the fight on Contender Series? I mean, he had that UD loss to Ronnie Lawrence. Could you pick anything up from his performance that could aid you here in this fight?
Oh, 100%. Ronnie did everything I expected him to do, because Ronnie's a really good wrestler, and I have fought some of the guys from Nashville MMA before too. And so watching that, I was like, this guy, the Jose is just, he's a traditional striker. He he doesn't really do too much. And I watched some fights of him last night, and again, he doesn't do a lot of things. So watching Ronnie actually implement a really good game plan, like I was like, okay, so I don't have to do anything fancy. I can actually just go and be myself. So and not to discredit Ronnie at all, but I just know that I am a better wrestler than he is. Like I'm more active, and I'm pretty much to the point where I can outride him, if that makes sense. I just got to put myself into that point where like I'm putting you down and you won't get out. So he does scramble a lot. He does, but he relies a lot on strength, and he relies a lot on that tie clinch and his reach. Once you get past the reach, it's an even fight at that point. So I ain't really too worried about it.
Yeah, but prior to the loss of Contender Series to Ronnie, he had 5 straight first round finishes. Do you feel like that's his best chance to have a victory here, is to catch you early on in the fight? And if he doesn't, like, and you're able to drag him into deep waters, is it going to get real ugly for him?
Oh yeah, I think that he's gonna come out fast. He's gonna do the same old stuff he does every single fight. You know, that's what he's going to do. He's going to have to go fast against me. Now, the problem is that he starts out fast. That gets my motor going even more, and that turns into a worse battle for him. So, decision is bad for him, and trying to go fast, especially if he doesn't get me out of there quick, it's going to go bad for him.
How do you see this fight ending? Give me your prediction.
I personally want this fight to go all of 15 minutes. Like, I want, because fast knockouts is cool. Fast submissions is cool. I've done submissions. A knockout would be dope. I've been having like weird like dreams/visions about like me, putting him down like as a knockout and stuff like that. And I was like, oh wait, I can't dwell deep up in that, because then it may not happen. I don't want to go chasing it. So to me, a TKO win, second or third round would be great. Or a TKO period would be just great. I just really want to, implement my will and show him that like you still got more to go. You're not going to beat me. I'm not going to be your stepping stone. I was already someone's stepping stone, and I refuse to do that again.
So a win here, Contender Series potentially next. You mentioned the Ultimate Fighter. Like, what are you hoping is next for you in 2021?
I'm hoping to get that 3 letters next to my name. That's what I want. I want to be signed and be like, you are a UFC fighter. And that's exactly what I want. And I'm going to get it because I've seen Cody fight at the UFC, and then I've seen the people he's fought. I've seen Jimmy Flick fight. I've seen Nathan Maness fight. I was like, there's no way that I cannot be in there. Like that's just it's not even feasible. That doesn't make sense for me not to be in the UFC. So by summer of 2021, that's what I'm hoping to be at.
Very good. Well, it all starts with this next fight. VFC 80, Valor Fights 80th card, April the 2nd. Dre Miley meets Jose Johnson. Dre, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, my man. Before I let you go, tell people where they can follow you on social media. And if you have any sponsors, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you for having me again. It's always a blast being able to talk to you. Shout out to Frankie's Body Shop, Chloe Badia. She my strength and conditioning coach. She does her thing, keep me in, pretty good shape mentally and physically. Everybody at Knoxville Martial Arts Academy with, home to events. Eric Turner is my head coach. He's been overhauling my whole game. So this fight will be a totally different Dre than what everybody's used to seeing. So I'm pretty excited about that. Smith and Anchoring, they're handling my fight shirts, which I have now. I'll have more coming hopefully by the end of the fight if everybody puts their orders in. Valor Fights for always having me on and keeping me there as as a pretty good fighter. I always love showcasing myself. Cotton Eye Joe for being hospitable and letting us have fights there. You can find me on Instagram, Dre Miley MMA 135, and on Facebook, you just type in Dre Miley, or you can go to my fighter page, which is Dreku DreKu Miley. Find me there. I'm always there. Shoot me a message, whatever. Talk about sports, talk about fights, whatever you want to do. Huge shout out to my family, Kay Varela and my boys, Jordan, Cameron, and Uriah. They knuckleheads sometimes, but I love them. They keep me on my toes, keep me, ready to go at all times. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And again, thank you for having me on. Like I said, it's always a blast talking to you.